Hi. So I really want to share with you a protocol that I learned in acupuncture school years ago, but now I like to use essential oils on these points instead. And therefore, if you have essential oils, you'll need blue tansy, Saro, and then another type of euphoric oil like sweet rose, jasmine, or I'm going to use helichrysum today. And if you're an acupuncturist, use these needles. I'm sure you already know this treatment. It's called the Diaphragm release, or better known as the Cathartic release. And then I've also known it to be called the Gate of Hope. And the points are lung 1, liver 14, and Ren 17. Okay, so I'll repeat all of that. Acupuncturists, you can use your needles. Essential oil enthusiasts, you can use your oils, and they'll be Saro, blue tansy, and either something like rose, jasmine, or helichrysum. And the acupuncture points are lung 1, liver 14, the Worsley location, or you could choose the traditional Chinese medicine location, and Ren 17. I will dive in right now explaining how to locate those points if you're a non-acupuncturist. And then I also want to say that if you do not have needles, acupuncture needles, if you're not an acupuncturist, if you don't have the essential oils, I invite you to try this treatment by using Acupressure. And so that would look like a very deep rub over these areas where we locate the points. So let's dive in. The first point is lung 1. And to find this point, it's found on the chest near the shoulders. You can slide your finger underneath your collarbone and glide it towards your shoulder. And when you hit the anterior part of your shoulder, just place your finger a little bit more lateral and right below that point, and that's lung 1. Okay, so I'll do that again. Slide your finger underneath your collarbone, glide it towards the shoulder, go out slightly towards the anterior part of the shoulder there in the first intercostal space. That's lung 1. We'll place Saro on this point, lung 1. The second point that we will do is liver 14, 2 locations for this. If you were to draw an imaginary line from your nipple down to where the rib cage and the soft skin of your abdomen meet, this is liver 14. So an imaginary line, and this is going to be found on both sides. Okay, where the rib cage and the soft skin meets. Liver 14, Worsley's location. If you want to use the traditional location for this, it's up a little higher underneath. You'll have to lift your titty up if you're a girl. And in this 6th intercostal space is liver 14. So underneath the nipple, in the 6th intercostal space, liver 14, or the Worsley location where the ribs and the soft skin meet. And this location is found on both sides of the body. And then the last point is Ren 17, and that is found right in the middle of the chest. If you count your intercostal spaces on the chest, it's found in the 4th. So we've slid underneath the collarbone here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that point is found right in the middle of the chest here, okay? Along the sternum in the 4th intercostal space. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. And to do aroma acupoint therapy, this is a very light touch, so the opposite of acupressure. Okay, so once again, acupuncturist, using needles, it's lung 1, liver 14, Ren 17. Essential oil enthusiast, You'll place 1 drop of Saro, lightly hold that on lung 1. Blue Tansy, take another drop on a finger, divide it between the 2, hold that on liver 14 for 1 to 3 minutes. And remember to relax the shoulders as you do this. And then the last point, finish it up with something very sweet and euphoric, like rose, jasmine, or helichrysum, and place that very lightly over ring 17. And then if you're doing acupressure, you can be massaging these points with a little bit of pressure. Don't hurt yourself, but enough to maybe make the skin a little red and irritated. And then come down to liver 14. And then finish it off with ring 17. Okay, so let's do this practice together if you have the essential oils. We start with Saro on lung 1. Shake my thigh a little. Get myself centered and ready to receive the medicine of these plant spirits and set the intention that this treatment will help to expand my chest, lighten the load, open my heart up to receive, to easily find, curate inspiration, hope. All right, let's begin. Taking a drop, placing it on 1 finger like this, dividing it between the 2. Then I'm going to give myself a little hug. So I'm going to take my right hand and place that on my left lung 1 and my left hand on my right lung 1. And to find this point, remember, go right below the collarbone, glide your finger out to the side. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna be upright. Okay. Glide my finger underneath my collarbone. Once I reach the anterior deltoid, I'm sliding right below that. My bottle just dropped. Okay. We'll do it one more time. Slide your finger underneath the collarbone. Once you reach the anterior deltoid, slide laterally and right below that into the first intercostal space, and that's lung 1. Place your finger there, and then do the same on the other side. Sneak it in there. And then I'm gently holding these points with Saro. And it's a very, very, very light touch. You're barely indenting the skin. So if you're pressing too hard, just come up a little bit and let Saro do its magic here. Relax your shoulders. This treatment is so good if you're feeling the heaviness of grief. If you're feeling any stuck emotions, especially that gather in the chest, and prevent you from taking in a deep breath, or perhaps you even have chest pain. You might even experience what we call flank pain, which is on the sides of the rib cage. My teacher, Tiffany Carroll, who is the one that I've learned this Aroma-Therapy sequence from, says that the diaphragm is the metaphor for all the things that we bump up against in life. And sometimes after repeated stop and go, frustration, irritability, resentment, anger, annoyance can build up. And this treatment just expands it. It just lets it go. I just got a really big gift from Saro. Just a bunch of light just entered my chest. That is the shift I was looking for. I didn't even know. But when you feel ready, you can release your fingertips, come up for a nice little inhalation. And then let's move on to the second point, which is blue tansy on liver 14. I'm going to first palpate to see which points feel more tender. So remember, we have two locations for this. It's either in the 6th intercostal space, so we're going to pick the titty up. Okay, that's a little tender on this side. Okay, that's pretty tender for me. So it's in the 6th intercostal space. I'm aligned with the nipple, or keep flowing down the abdomen. And once you get below the rib cage where the soft belly meets, that's another location. And this is Worsley's. It's another school of thought in acupuncture. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the TCM location up top, but choose to see which one feels maybe a little tender. This one on the right side feels tender, but that's right over the liver, so that makes sense. Feel into what you need. You can't do this wrong. So place a drop of blue tansy now on a fingertip. I'm choosing a different fingertip. I'm going to go with my ring finger here, if it'll come out of the bottle slow and steady. This treatment definitely encourages patience and presence. Alrighty. And now I'm going to divide that between the two fingers. And then I'm going to slide my hands back up underneath here into the 6th intercostal space in line with the nipple. And then gently hold that there for about 1 to 3 minutes. It's already starting to work. I feel like I want to just move around a little bit. Blue tansy is the bringer of play. It definitely makes me want to wiggle a little bit. Its sweet aroma is very harmonizing, regulating. And remember, it's a very light touch. If you're indenting the skin, just come up a little bit. It's a reminder these practices are great for practicing presence with yourself and these plant spirits. Relax your belly. You can laugh a little bit or giggle if you feel like it. Feel yourself being able to take in deeper breaths. Allowing the rib cage to effortlessly expand and release. And even my thoughts are getting less controlling. And there's a release around them. And when you're ready, you can release your hands, come up for a cup hand inhalation. I can feel it just releasing already, all this pent up energy that I've been feeling just circulating around in my chest. And we're not done yet. We've got our last one, which I am going to work with Helichrysum. Helichrysum is great for any kind of scar tissue, any wounds that have maybe left us building a little bit of a wall around the heart. This point is great for just breaking down that scar tissue so that we can open ourselves back up again to receiving love. I'm going to choose my middle finger for this because it's the pericardium channel. So pericardium is the heart protector. Place a drop on the fingertip. And you don't need to divide this with another one because this point is just single right on the chest. Remember, it's found in the fourth intercostal space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right in the center of the sternum. And again, it's a really light touch. This point is also known as the Sea of Chi. And I really can feel a lot of energy, chi, circulating in my chest in the most nourishing and restoring, recalibrating. In my clinical experience, when I've done this treatment on someone with either acupuncture needles or with essential oils, I've had a few patients of mine spontaneously cry. I can feel some energy coming up to my throat, looking for that release. Please use this treatment if you feel like you need an injection of hopeful energy. If you have been feeling really bogged down with grief, or if you've been feeling restricted because of anger, if you can't get that deep breath in, if you feel like an elephant is sitting on your chest, if you're looking for inspiration, oh, this is such a great treatment, such a beautiful sequence. Thank you, Helichrysum. Dab a little bit if you have it underneath your nose, if you have rose or jasmine. And we complete this sequence and give thanks to our bodies, give thanks to the oils, and give thanks to each other. Okay. Maybe get up and move around a little bit. See what wants to come through. Enjoy this.